Detective Bat, thank you again for what you did earlier. Yeah, thanks a ton. What are you talking about? There's no need to be shy about it. Never mind that for now. I'm guessing you two are back here looking to investigate some more? We are indeed. We'll need something solid if we're going to save Mr. Tangaroa. Well, I hate to break it to you, but apart from this room, the whole place is on lockdown. What? But we need to see the other rooms. This is Mr. Von Karma's doing, I presume. Who else? I haven't seen the autopsy report yet either. The guy's probably got a hand in that too. Don't expect to speak with anybody. Expect us cops and Miss Bound. Everybody else is gone. I doubt Von Karma will be handing out a phone notice. Is this all a game to him? Is this all a game to him? Why did he have to go that far? So what's your plan of action, Detective? Same as before. Do what I can to help you uncover the truth, like I promised. You have my gratitude. As you wait, Mr. Von Karma, we're gonna beat you and your bag of dirty tricks. Detective, may we conduct a brief investigation of the area? Sure. Like I said, everywhere else is off bounds. Probably won't be seeing those rooms again. That's fine. As long as there's at least some way of continuing our investigation, we'll make do. There's a drum set here, decorated to look as if they were made out of cakes. They must play it on Bacon Bob. Detective, about these drums. We already checked. There's nothing inside any of them. There's no sign of anything having been put inside or taken out either. They're not relevant to the case. You've already done your homework, I see. I may like lollipops a little too much, but I'm no sucker. Seems these instruments are used on Mr. Tangaroa and Miss Bound's TV show Bacon Bob. There's some of a few things here that aren't made of candy. Is it just me, or does the detective seem a little disappointed? Oh, hi, Judy. Excuse me, may I ask what you were investigating? Sir, I'm analyzing the fountain water to see what might be in it, sir. And what did you find? Chocolate. What looks like chocolate and what looks like the kind of flavorings and colorings used in frozen desserts, sir. The composition of the chocolate seems to be the same as that of Mr. Tangaroa's work. The flavorings and colorings match the profile of those used in Mr. Frost's ice sculpture. Okay, so the water, yeah, that makes sense. If the water melted and went into the fountain stream, which is what it appeared to have done in the photo. We have a zoomed out one. I think that was present day. Like it all leaked out and it probably went to drains and got into it. That's probably why. This little river flows from all four artists' rooms right here into this fountain. This is how the stuff from the melted sculpture is wound up in there. That's not all, sir. We also found blood. What? Why is there blood in the water? Think back to our investigation of the murder scene, detective. Take another look at the crime scene in front of us. The blood is missing. The victim's blood was mysteriously absent, as was a part of the chocolate chest it had pooled on it. I believe that the blood probably belonged to.
Take that!
The victim, huh? I'll have the guy compare it with the blood on the murder weapon. It's a match. The blood in the fountain, is frost. But why would someone want to send the victim's blood downstream into the fountain like this? These trophies all belong to Mr. Tangaroa. But they're not all confectionery contests. Some appear to be for charity work. Testament to both his character and his professional achievements. What's this one here? In recognition of Bacon Bob's long-standing achievement in making children's dreams come true. That's so sweet. It's got me wanting to watch. This is quite the trophy. Order to Tangaroa. First place International Confectionaries Association Annual Spectacular. It's made of candy. I guess it wasn't meant to last forever. Makes sense. Prizes, fame, none of it lasts forever, right? I doubt it's anything quite that deep. I'm guessing we just talked to her now. Misbound. We're here to continue our investigation. Oh, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm so sorry about earlier. Jeez, still looking kinda down in the dumps, Mr. E. She must have been greatly taken aback by what Mr. Tangaroa had to say. Found a photograph of the semi-final entries for you. Here, it's all yours. Nothing sticks out. Wow, Miss Scone sure knows how to make a cute cake. Yes, but Samson loved her design for that one. And he loved the designs and flavors of Mr. Gusto and Mr. Frost entries. Only problem was, as Samson mentioned earlier, they tasted exactly the same. However, the respective entries for the finals tasted nothing alike, it seems. Was there anything else of note that changed between the semi-final and the finals? Nothing major, but I guess there was one thing. Mr. Gusto's son was always here with him throughout the contest. He was nowhere to be seen during the final. Really? Is that kid we saw in the present day? No, that can't be. It's like, oh, is it that the kid we saw in the present day? Oh wait, that kid was definitely not that old. Why would his son come here to hang out at a contest venue of all places? You're sure you're happy for us to keep hold of this? Of course. I hope it helps with your investigation. Oh, I also have some book containing a recipe for the cure Samson mentioned. We've seen this book before. That's the book that was in the room. It was pot side. It was in the chocolate frame in Tangaroa's room. That's right. Put it on display so that everybody could see the grand prize. What? The cure is in the ultimate cookbook. So it's not a book of dessert recipes, I take it? Oh no. We told the contestants, of course. But I guess nobody told you yet. So the contestants all knew what the ultimate cookbook was in the whole time. But containing formulas for creating a cure for taste disorders and other chemicals and pharmaceutical items. Oh boy. That last line is interesting to say the least. I would like to hear more about the cookbook if you don't mind, Miss Bound. So if I understand correctly, the ultimate cookbook is actually a collection of recipes for different medicines. Exactly. Or rather, totally new medications that haven't been made it to the market yet, to be precise. This gives a motive for the cheating. Or at least the Scone's cheating. Because as a pharmacist, she'd really want this. Exactly. Or rather, totally new medications that haven't been made it to the market yet, to be precise. To the right buyer, a pharmaceutical company, for example, it would be worth a fortune. But why make that a grand prize in a confectionery contest? Mr. Tangaroa is the sole heir to the Tangaroa family of fortune. Perhaps you've heard of the Tangaroa Group. The Tangaroa Group? Yeah, I think I've heard of them somewhere before. It's a major pharmaceutical corporation. Sells all kinds of pills and poisons. Oh yeah, the Cold Killer Pro has been making some real waves since it went on sale. It always reaches the Cold Killer when feeling under the weather. Which is never as far as I've seen. I'd like to hear more about the Tangaroa Group if you don't mind. So did Mr. Tangaroa not want to take over his parents and go into the family business? No, he preferred the idea of making people's lives better, though. The power of confectionery. And his parents supported him in his quest to become the best in the world. Then when they passed away, he inherited the cookbook. But why would he make such a valuable heirloom of mere contest prize? He's been hounded by so many people looking to make that book their own. He was tired of it. But it would have been an insult to his parents' memory to simply give it away. So he decided to find somebody he felt was worthy of it. I'll bet the board of directors loved that. Handed over the fruits of their expensive research to someone else. They hated the idea, of course, which is why Delicia entered the contest. The Tangaroa Group wanted her to win the book back for them. So you knew she was a pharmacist all along? Yes, and not only that, I told her how to appeal to Samson's tastes. I tried to help her win. But why? I wanted to protect Samson by protecting the Tangaroa Group. The board would never... If the cookbook fell into another company's hands, the board would never forgive him. So I wanted to find a way to keep it within the company, but in a way Samson couldn't object to. So that's how Miss Scone managed to make it so far in the contest she had no business in taking part in. But Miss Scone wasn't the only one pretending, was she? Mr. Frost wasn't really a confectioner either. He still made it all the way to the final, just like that. Just like she did. Not bad. Yes, it's unbelievable, isn't it? Such a talented sculptor and a gifted crafter of desserts too. Gifted indeed, judged by the standard of his work in the final. But how did one man produce pieces of that size and quality in such a short period of time? I'm not sure I have much more to tell you. But if there's anything else I can help you with, I'd be happy to, of course. Certainly is very keen to ensure that she does all she can for Mr. Tangaroa. I certainly could use a cup of tea if you made us yesterday, if you wouldn't mind. I think it might help move the investigation along nicely. We'll have some too. Your tea is so die for, Miss Bow. Well, how could I possibly refuse? I'll bring it right out. You know, I think that cheered her up a little. We've learned a little more about the contest participants. So one question involving Mr. Gusto for which we've never got an answer. Why did he go in there? What was he doing in Mr. Frost's room? And that's not all. I also have questions for the work he submitted for the semifinals. Confectioner who admits to lacking design sense, and a sculptor with in spades. Mr. Gusto could not have hoped to win such a high-level contest by himself. So Gusto and Billiqui were working together? This is why I'm beginning to wonder if there was some sort of connection between him and Mr. Frost. Detective. I need to ask Mr. Gusto a few questions. His story doesn't quite add up for me. Me neither. I need to figure out how to get in touch with him. Oh, do you now? Good luck with that, because I have no intention of allowing it. Mr. Von Karma. I am already in the midst of my own investigation into Gusto. So there's no need for the likes of you to pester him with the same questions again. However, I will, be happy to answer any questions you might have. Seems dead set on preventing me from talking to Mr. Gusto, in which case. Fine, then allow me to take you up on your offer. Very well. What is it? I'd like you to tell me about the connection between Mr. Gusto and Mr. Frost. The connection between Gusto and Frost. It was simply a matter of coincidence. They both happened to be taking part in the same contest. Bro. Really? And that's all. That's all I have to say to you. What? That doesn't help us at all. We'll have to confront him with evidence. If we want to draw the truth out of him. It's imperative that we do. He's clearly hiding something.
Objection!
Come on!
Objection!
Both of them work. Come on. I wonder if you could look at the two confections in the foreground for me, Mr. Kamakoma. They were made for the contest semifinals. Both are exquisitely crafted. Would you agree? Get to the point. As the nameplate suggests, these were Mr. Gusto and Mr. Frost's entries. Mr. Gusto told us that confectionery design was far from his strong suit. And yet his work in this picture is just as good as Mr. Frost's. Exactly as good as, in fact. We learned from another witness that the two entries also tasted exactly the same.
Objection!
What are you suggesting? I'm suggesting that the two were helping one another out. Let's take a closer look, shall we? While at first glance they may appear to be superficially different, soon becomes apparent that there are significant similarities in how they were put together. Yeah, because you got grapes, you got a red rose, you got a pink rose. The tails are pretty similar. You got whatever those like red leafy things are. Like there's just so many similarities between these two. They are made of the same ingredients, taste the same, and share similar design aesthetics. This is picture-proof positive that the two were working together. You figured that much out, then I suppose there's little point in denying it. Mr. Von Karma knew all along that they were cooperating. But I'll warn you, none of what you're about to hear will be to your advantage. Let me confirm what you've seen so desperate to prove. Cousteau and Frost were indeed working together. Cousteau spelled out the details in his relationship to Frost during the questioning last night. It seems they were helping one another right up until the day before the final. But why did they stop working together, huh? So you knew the two were cooperating. Mr. Von Karma, why are you trying to bury the truth?
Objection.
Please, enough with your petty slander. I merely wanted to avoid you poking your nose around before I could provide proper context in court. It's in my mind to explain that to you. Sure, whatever excuse you want to come up with, old man. It doesn't explain why he's being so slippery with the facts, though. I need to figure out what he's hiding. I can't let things end like this.
Hold it.
But why were they cooperating? Cousteau's sense of design is subpar, and Frost was an amateur confectioner at best. Neither of them stood a chance of making it through the contest alone. So what was their endgame? Why cooperate only until the day before the finals? Cousteau claimed to have ended the scheme. Allegedly, he wanted to win the final on his own merits. His one and only goal was really to be crowned the world's best confectioner. And his pride would not allow him to do so with the help of another. Cheaters can only ever win a victories, I guess. He was under the impression that their collaboration had only lasted through the semifinals. I'm starting to think that it might have lasted up through the final itself. Mr. Von Karma, I'd like to ask you some more about how long they worked together for, if you don't mind. If you must.
Hold it.
You really believe that they were cooperating until the day before the finals, and just simply stopped. That seems a little strange to me. Wouldn't you agree?
Objection.
I have told you the truth. Whether you find it strange or not is none of my concern. He was concerned enough to try to hide it from me only a few minutes ago, then. Which means there must be a reason for that. Based on Mr. Tangaroa's assessment, it sounded as if Mr. Frost's entry for the final was a clear winner. Which means, must have still been working with Mr. Cousteau, right? That's precisely what I was thinking. Must have some evidence that proves they were cooperating right through the finals. I think I could be referring to this. Might be. I think it has to be.
Objection.
They weren't working together during the finals. I find that a little hard to believe. Miss Scone is on record as having described Mr. Frost's creations as scrumptious. While it was certainly skill, I doubt even he could come up with a world-class confectioner overnight. Seems far more likely to me that Mr. Gusto were he and Mr. Gusto were still cooperating during the fight. How many times must I explain it to you? Assertions require proof, and one person's entirely subjective statement is not proof of anything. Besides, even amateurs can occasionally make delicious food. Perhaps Frost was simply lucky. My wife, for example, is an amateur whose cooking puts first-class chefs to shame. How's that for not an entirely subjective statement? Oh yes, my wife's no chef, but she can make better food than first class. Uh-huh. How is that not an entirely subjective statement? Furthermore, you are ignoring the crucial part of the pharmacist's testimony. Namely, that she also described some of Frost's work as being unbearably salty. In other words, your evidence actually shows that your Frost failed to produce the perfect confectionery. No more objections, I take it. There must be some way I can prove that Gusto and Frost were still collaborating. Mr. E? There's something that's been on my mind. Yes, what is it, Eddie? Mr. Frost's entry for the finals. Wouldn't it have taken a while to make? I would imagine so. Imagine flavoring water, freezing it, and carving it in 2 whole sculptures? Could really have done all that and helped Mr. Gusto with his work? If it was me, I'd have barely gotten as far as setting up the flavored water up to freeze part. I just can't see how Mr. Frost could have pulled it off. Perhaps there's some lowerly instinct in you after all, lady. Your pondering certainly points to another possibility. Eddie's right. Mr. Frost would have needed to freeze his own large blocks of flavored ice to create his art. There wouldn't have been time to do that during the contest itself. What must Mr. Frost have done in order to finish his flavored ice entry in time? He had to make it before. He must have made the flavored ice the day before. Then all he would have to do is sculpt it. What are you muttering about now? Oh, I'm sorry. I just realized something, that's all. I realize that you're correct. Mr. E? I hope you know what you're doing. Oh, accepting defeat at last, are we? The only thing I'm accepting is that perhaps one thing you said was true. One of the things you said was true. They were helping one another right up until the day before the final. Just as you said, the day before the final really did mark the end of their collaboration. That's when the victim died. The victim died before, and because he's in a frozen room, like, it preserves his body and it can manipulate the time of death. I was thinking that as a possibility for a while. It's like, couldn't they delay the time, what the time of death would look like? Just as you said, the day before the final really did mark the end of their collaboration. Mr. Frost's entry was carved entirely from blocks of flavored ice. Ice which would have needed at least a day to freeze, and whose flavors would therefore have already been prepared by Mr. Gusto. Yes, which lines up perfectly with what Mr. Gusto told me, that he helped Frost until the day before the final. In that case, why didn't Mr. Frost reciprocate and help Mr. Gusto return? 7 days in a row? You crazy boy. I can hardly be expected to read the minds of the dead.
Objection!
Perhaps not. But I imagine Mr. Gusto could tell us So why don't you let him speak with us? Let us speak with him. Or do you still insist on your interrogation was thorough as you claim? How dare you call my methods into question? That's not my intention. I just don't understand why you would obstruct to a perfectly valid line of inquiry. Give me one good reason as to why you're keeping Mr. Gusto from me. One good reason? Certainly. The how and why of Mr. Frost and Gusto's collaboration has absolutely no bearing on this case.
Objection!
No, sir, you can't say that. And how can you possibly say that with any certainty? Their relationship had broken down for some reason. There could very well have been a motive behind the murder. Could it indeed? Then why did Gusto himself tell me all about it? Why did a man you seem so keen on accusing share the details of a collaboration with the prosecution? Give himself a cover. He's like, oh hey, I'm gonna tell you all this, so you're gonna believe I couldn't have done it. I'm telling you all this so I don't have a motive, right? Please tell me that you have some proof to back up your preposterous suspicions this time. Mr. Gusto only acted suspiciously one time that we know. I imagine that Mr. Von Karma is aware of exactly what that suspicious action was. Which means this is probably a trap. Well, catch your tongue. But even if this is a trap, can't back down now. Mr. Gusto snuck into Mr. Frost's room, and we still don't know why. That fact alone is reason enough to suspect him. If that is your only concern, then allow me to clear it up for you. I knew it. It was a trap. I was saving this for the trial, but consider it a taste of things to come. Plus, I'd hate for the proceedings to drag on because of your needless interjections. They're kids. Here, take a look at this. That's Gusto and Frost and their sons. Gusto snuck into Frost's room in order to retrieve this photograph. But why? It seems their sons attended the same elementary school. Gusto was concerned with the fact that Mr. Frost and his acquaintance might place him under undue suspicion. A concern that you have just proved was entirely well-founded. Gusto's actions make perfect sense, and you have given me no reason to believe otherwise. He's never going to let me talk to Mr. Gusto. Now, if you're quite done obstructing my investigation, I have things to be getting on with. That smug, self-righteous jerk. Didn't read the whole line. Smug, self-righteous jerk. I'll give him something to be getting on with. Well, what do we do, Mr. E? Mr. Tangaroa? Tangaroa's finished if we can't figure something out. Things to be getting on with. What exactly could those things be? His body, a murder weapon, and a suspect in custody. The prosecution means to pursue Mr. Tangaroa. Surely they have all they need. So why is Mr. Von Karma still investigating the scene of the crime? Something on your mind, Mr. E? We're missing something. Something important. Mr. Von Karma has everything he needs to proceed with the prosecution of Mr. Tangaroa. And yet he still doesn't seem entirely confident of his case. If he was, why refuse to share information with Detective Bad? not dead. That's why we see the body in the present day. He's not dead. Maybe? In addition, we still haven't solved the mystery of what happened to the evidence that went missing. Evidence that turned up not in Mr. Tangaroa's room, but in a most unusual place. So there were no traces of Mr. Frost's blood left in Mr. Tangaroa's room. And yet we found some in the fountain instead. Why? Mr. Frost's blood went missing from the crime scene. But traces of it showed up in the fountain. Why go to the trouble of removing the blood from the scene after the body had been discovered? And why only the blood? Surely the body would have been in the way. Wait, could someone have moved the body aside to get the blood? I think I'm right. He didn't die. So the body might have been moved aside, or even removed from the scene of the crime entirely. After all, as far as we know, there's still no autopsy report. We've learned plenty about the murder weapon and the suspect, but very little about the body itself. Or assumptions as far as that the body had been recovered by the forensics team. But what if that assumption is false? What if Mr. Von Karma wouldn't show Detective Bad the autopsy report out of something other than spite? What if we've been thinking about this the wrong way around all along? The question isn't why did Mr. Von Karma hold back information about the body? It's did Mr. Von Karma even have any information about the body in the first place? How do things look from that angle? Perhaps the body hasn't been removed by the police in order to carry out an autopsy. Probably already been removed and hidden away by the culprit before their arrival. Body being removed and completely hidden. That's something. Mr. E? We both heard the rumors about Mr. Von Karma's questionable methods. Fabricated witness statements, shady deals, forged evidence even. Sure, everybody's heard of that stuff. What's that got to do with us right now? I would never judge a person based on the basis of rumors alone. Even Mr. Von Karma. I've tried my best to not let my preconceptions color our interactions with him. Nonetheless, it appears he may indeed be willing to twist the truth to his own ends. Twist the truth? You mean he's been playing dirty? I fear he might have been, and still is. And I'm not about to let him get away with it. I'm attorney to the prosecutor's office. Don't breathe a word about anything to that infernal attorney. Yes, sir.
Hold it!
Yes, what is it now? I have a few questions, Mr. Von Karma, about a certain fact you've been keeping from us. Really? You mean to call the methods of an officially sanctioned investigation into question yet again? I'm warning you, if you obstruct the police in their work any further, there will be consequences.
Objection!
It's not the police I have an issue with. It's you, Miss Verwan Karma. What? Isn't it on the prosecution to work out who the real culprit is of the crime? What foolishness is this? I have no intention of debating what the prosecution's role is or not with the likes of you. But let me make one thing clear. My job is to identify suspects and ensure that every last one of them is convicted at all costs. Believe me when I say, I leave absolutely no room for doubt when I present my perfect, unassailable case.
Objection!
And how far would you go for your perfect cases? Would you create facts out of a whole cloth, perhaps? As I thought, you had outdone yourself already. But now you intend to accuse me of fabricating evidence? I do. Because it is why you've done nothing but hinder Detective Bad from doing his job at every turn. What are you talking about? You didn't shut him out of the investigation because you wanted him to keep an eye on us. You did it to stop him from finding out that you don't have the body. What? He doesn't have the body?
Objection!
Ridiculous! You're clutching at straws. I will tolerate no more of your presumptuous slander. Then allow us to examine it. Prove me wrong, if you can. I'm afraid you'll have to try a little harder than that. I'm under no obligation whatsoever to prove your baseless accusations one way or another.
Objection!
And you must have seen for yourself. A piece of bloody chocolate is missing from the scene of the crime. Why did it disappear? And where did it go? What does it matter? Some blood went missing from the chest where the body was found. So what? So what indeed? That's precisely my question. If the body was still at the scene when the police got here, removing the body would accomplish nothing. However, let us suppose for a moment that the body was not. If someone had wanted to erase any trace of what happened in that room, it all makes perfect sense.
Objection!
What is this petty obsession with the bloodstain? But since it's so important to you, why don't you tell me where you believe it went? Of course. After all, evidence is everything, as you never tire of telling us. I believe I should back up my theory quite nicely. What evidence do I have that shows where the blood from Mr. Tangero's room went? Oh, it says it in here.
Take that!
Traces of the victim's blood were found in the fountain, along with traces of chocolate from Mr. Tangero's room. I believe the missing piece of blood-stained chocolate was dumped into the stream that flows into the fountain, which strongly points towards one certain fact. Someone purposefully disposed of the body after the body had been removed from the chest. Mr. Von Karma, where did you find the body? You didn't find it, did you? Answer me! Where did you get your hands on that kind of evidence? You have neither the authority nor the means to carry out that kind of analysis on the fountain water. No, but I do. Curse you, Bat! You've been a thorn at my side from the moment you were assigned. You are no longer, as of now, officially on the case. I was barely on it in the first place. Mr. Von Karma, you still haven't answered my question. Will you admit it? Will you confirm that no body was ever recovered? It's really quite a claim, you know. And for one wish, you'll never find any proof, I'm afraid. You're gonna have to present proof of the body at some point, sir. What must I do to get an answer out of him? Now, if you don't mind, I have given you quite enough of my precious time already. I look forward to destroying you in court, Gregory Edgeworth. Your precious logic and series won't save you, Zen. Nothing will. Mark my words, Mr. Von Karma. Your methods will be your undoing. No matter how you try to hide the truth, I'll bring it all to light in the end. Forgive me, Detective. I didn't mean to put you in a difficult position. Don't sweat it. I was always gonna end up this way. Honestly, nobody's ever sidelined me in the way he did before. First time for everything. You know, you might be right about the body being missing. Oh yeah, and I'll prove it in court. Well, if there's anything I can do to help, just say the word. As you know, I'm off the case now. That's very kind, and I'm sorry to keep asking favors of you, Detective Bat, but there is one more thing. Hey, what are you guys whispering about? Come on, let me in on a secret. Alright, Teddy. The detective and I were just arranging a little insurance for the trial. I think we have enough to see that Mr. Tangaroa acquitted. But I prefer to have an ace up the hole, just in case. And what is it? You'll find out in the courtroom. So this must be referencing the fabricated evidence that was mentioned that caused Edgeworth to lose the case. Because we do know from Ace Attorney 1 that Gregory lost this case in the end due to falsified evidence. Question is, what was it? But I don't know if they're really going to tell us because it doesn't seem relevant. You'll find out in the courtroom. Wait, what? You're letting me join? You join? Of course I am. You're my assistant after all. I'll be more than that by next year. I'll be a full-fledged attorney, you know. We can take on Mr. Von Karma together. Indeed. Though I'm hoping we'll have freed Mr. Tangaroa by then. But if we're up against Mr. Von Karma, I guess we can't rule out the possibility that this might take some time. Right. But we'll do everything we can in the meantime. I know you can beat Mr. Von Karma, Mr. E. I believe in you. Can't allow Mr. Tangaroa to remain in prison for a crime he didn't commit. And we won't. I'll expose Mr. Von Karma's lies if it's the last thing I do. Okay, so we should be back at present day now. Yep. And that's pretty much how things went down. Those are the facts of the IS evidence, as far as I'm concerned. I'm finally learning the truth about my father's last case. So what happened at the trial? Well, we lost. Von Karma did a real number on us. Really? You couldn't prove that Mr. Tangaroa was innocent? Oh, we could prove it all right. I had a decent pile of evidence in our favor. Problem was, we underestimated Von Karma, and he fought dirtier than we'd have feared. I can imagine. Securing a conviction at all costs. That was always his guiding principle. Ain't that the truth? Anywho, the trial dragged on and on. The whole thing took about a year in the end. Never forget the day the verdict came down. December 28th that following year. It's April now. Oh, mama. We're talking about over 17 years ago. I'm sure it does fly by, huh? December 28th. I was there that day on 17 years ago, sitting in the courtroom gallery. Just before the trial got started, Gregory noticed that Samson was looking even worse than usual. Turns out the poor guy had finally reached his limit. It was so bad he even said he wanted to be found guilty. Wait, you mean they forced a confession out of him? Yeah, Von Karma got what he'd been pushing for from the very beginning. When Gregory tried to drop the bombshell about there being no body to speak of, Von Karma had used the power of the police to head him off the path. Even had himself a fake autopsy report. Well, that wasn't the end of it. Von Karma had gotten Samson to falsely testify against himself to be an accessory to the murder in court. Combined with his confession, the poor guy's goose was well and truly cooked. But Gregory still had an ace up in the hole, though. The same ace that he had Detective Bad help him with. Exactamundo. He knew he needed one last card to play if he squeezed a confession out of Samson. He had Bad record all of Samson's interrogations. I guess Detective Bad really wanted to know the truth too, huh? We all did. He was a trooper. Stayed with the case even after Von Karma took him off of it. He was tied up to some other big case too. Good old Bad. They don't make him like that. They don't make him like that anymore. Anyway, Gregory presented recordings as proof that Samson's confession was coerced. You know what? It almost worked. A cop named Ian Seidman got fired. Samson's interrogator and the initial detective before Bad. He took the fall for pretty much the whole thing. But Von Karma didn't get away scot-free. In fact, he was disciplined by the chief prosecutor. For one and only time in his 40-year career. For the one and only time in his 40-year career. Still, Samson himself couldn't stomach another day in court. When that guilty verdict came down, it didn't just signal the end of the day, but the whole sad affair. I don't remember a lot myself, but my father's face when he declared Mr. Tangaroa guilty. I was a young child at the time, but even I could tell how much he was hurting inside. Gregory wanted to appeal the ruling, of course. He wouldn't have done anything. He would have done anything to clear Samson's name. But then, well, you know what happened next. Poor guy never got a chance. I should have left with him that day. I'll always blame myself for not doing that. But I shoved that aside and obsessed over something else instead. Or rather, someone else. I hated what you did. Hated you for choosing to stick with Von Karma. I hope you can forgive me. No, you had every right to hate me. I went on to become a prosecutor as planned, and that's when Mr. Von Karma showed me the case file. According to these records, Mr. Tangaroa was convicted as the main culprit in Mr. Frost's murder. Nope, that's not right. Really now? Samson was convicted as an accessory to murder. Strange. The file clearly states that he was the perpetrator. Plus, I'm fairly certain that all of Mr. Von Karma's cases were successfully solved. Mind if I take a peek at those? This file's been doctored. The part about the verdict, it's been changed. What? Here, feast your eyes on this. Feast your peepers on this. Over a confectionery contest, the victim's body was found inside of his creation, leading to his arrest. While in detention, Tangaroa discovered that he had a taste disorder, which was subsequently cured via medication. Verdict convicted as an accomplice based on his confession. Convicted as an accomplice. That's a copy of the file they have on record at the courthouse. And why is my copy so different? Well, they said it came from Von Karma, yeah? My guess is they didn't want Gregory's son thinking there was a murder still out there at large. And while you're looking into it again before the statute of limitations was up. So everything I believe about the case was a lie. Like they said, we all got to start somewhere. What's important is that you know what's now. So now statute of limitations, I think there are some cases where statute of limitations can be ignored. Which is like, if the body that just appeared in the fountain is the body is a victim from 18 years ago, that would be grounds enough to bring that case back. Like, okay, subvert the statute of limitations. This case is reopened again. Statute of limitations may have run out, but the truth's still out there, you know. I inherited some of Samson's case when your old man passed. Prosecution handed it off to someone else, too. Raven Von Karma wasn't going to bother facing off against a rookie like me, was he? Anyway, long story short, the killer was never found, and Samson was found guilty instead. $100 million? Geesh. Have fun. That's terrible. Is there really nothing we can do to help him? Not without the real perp, I'm afraid. Until then, his confession stands. Speaking of which, I didn't find out until after the verdict had been handed down, but Von Karma had threatened Samson and made him a deal. Told him if he didn't confess, he'd make sure Judy was convicted instead. How could he? Samson knew there was no way Judy could have done it, of course. But he wasn't going to take any chances, so he did what he was told and confessed to keep her safe. Now riddle me this, Milesy boy. Why do you think your Uncle Eddie just happened to be in the prison the day Bronco Knight died? Oh my god. Everything is being connected. Ah, that's right. You were there to see Mr. Tangaroa. Bingo. You and I both promised that we'd visit him every day. I didn't quite keep that promise. But Judy did. She never missed one visit all these years. From rain or shine, she always showed up. But none of that changes the fact that Samson is still being unduly punished day after day. How heartbreaking. We've got to do something, Mr. Fender. Well, kiddo, that's actually why we came here. The ice sculptures are back on display, just like they were all those years ago. We're gonna see what we can find out. Right, Miles Arena? I'm a prosecutor, Fender. I don't look at these things in the same way as you or my father. Miles. But that doesn't matter right now. Speaking not as a prosecutor, but as Miles Edgeworth. I want to know the truth behind both these cases, and I'm not leaving until I do. You really are Gregory's son, though. Through and through. Alrighty then. Now that that's sorted, we can really get to work. Good thing I brought the IS-7 case file and evidence with me today, huh? Here. Documents first. I don't love paperwork, am I right? The parts in red ink are my annotations. That's orange, but okay again. The statute of limitations. Statute of limitations expired 3 years ago. No detailed autopsy due to the body going missing. Thank you, Fender. And here's some evidence for you. Enjoy. Yeah, there's quite a few, so I'd take a minute to scoop them out if I were you. Small mountain of evidence from IS-7 incident received. Just a small mountain of evidence. Yes, I see. I'll take a look at them in a bit. Or we'll look at them now. So what all do we got? So Why is this photo relevant? There's got to be some reason this photo is relevant. Like, nothing sticks out looking at this photo. Photograph of the rock. Handprint still. The handprint is still relevant. Book is relevant. You know, our current case is just full of loose threads too. Come to think of it. Indeed. Key players of that incident 18 years ago who just happened to get caught up in another incident. The ice sculptures in the winter wing are perfect replicas of the ones from 18 years ago. Poison gas attack in the autumn wing, which has been disguised to look like the winter wing. The two chemicals that were found inside the Pisces statue display case, ubiquitum and asphyxium. That form of a poisonous gas, when mixed together. The victim of the gas attack, Carmelo Gusto, who was no stranger to the events of 18 years ago, and who's still unconscious and undergoing treatment in the medical room. And finally, we've come to the body floating face down in the fountain. And the fact that the ice sculptures have melted, just as they did all those years ago. The events of the present day would appear to intimately linked with the events of the past. Which means they are able to help us learn more about what happened 18 years ago. Sounds good to me. Let's get investigating.
Objection!
Useless. Oh no, you don't. Are you forgetting somebody? I could have sworn this was my investigation. Eustace is quite right. I do not hope you are intending to obstruct him in his duties, Mr. Edwards. I would hate to have you add a guilty to my report to the committee. What am I guilty of now? Of course not. I'm simply offering once again to do what I can to help with the investigation. Your offer is duly noted and duly declined. Ugh, she isn't pulling any punches. The identity of the body of the fountain is currently being ascertained. It's only a matter of time until we have all the information we need. Perhaps I can help you speed up that process along. I think I have an idea who our mystery victim might be. What? Really? Then you have to tell me. It's the law. Very well. Maybe it isn't just the ice sculptures that have resurfaced after 18 years. The body in the fountain may also be a visitor from the past.
Take that!
I believe the body in the fountain is that of the man who was murdered here 18 years ago. Mr. Artie Frost. What? Are you saying? What are you saying, that poor Chillywinks? Wait, what? Who the heck is Chillywinks, or Artie, or whoever it is you're talking about? Artie Frost was the famous sculptor, Eustace. Although he was better known as Paul Heliqui. The sculptures here on display are all his works. No way! Not like he did well for himself. Always good to encounter a fellow winner. Mr. Frost was also the victim in the IS-7 incident. Dr. Bell knows about the IS-7 incident. Mr. Edwards, the IS-7 incident is an 18-year-old case. And according to police records, the victim's body was recovered and an autopsy was duly carried out. That's what the records say. Records can't always be trusted. What are you insinuating? Now, while the records say stuff like, body totally recovered, the defense back then begged to differ. Not that it stopped the prosecution from shutting them down hard, of course. How old is she again? She's 26. So she was 8 when all this was happening. Not that that's relevant or anything, but, you know. Like, he wasn't even born yet. Yeah, this is winner. What, really? What is it, Eustace? The body. We've got an ID. Some sculptor called Frost or something. So I guess Edwards called it. Goddess of justice. So my father's deductions were right all along. Well, Judge Gavel, I'd say this changes things, wouldn't you? Perhaps now you'll admit that I might be of use to this case. More than a certain junior prosecutor, anyway. No fair! Are you trying to steal the win? I'm doing no such thing. All I want is to uncover the truth. And if we're going to get to the bottom of what happened here, we'll need to work together. We do not need anything. We do not need to know the truth. This case is none of your concern.
Objection!
Whoa there, Judgy. I think you might be wrong about that one. Another one of your interruptions, Mr. Fender. Yep, see, I was on the defense team for the IS-7. This case is very much my concern. And one of the pesky kids pushing the theory that the body was actually gone missing. The prosecutor at the time may have brushed us off. You can't deny the testimony of your eyes. Or put a little more bluntly, the prosecution's case was rotten from the ground up. When there's been a miscarriage of justice caused by the prosecution, it's the committee's job to fix it. Get her! Get her! She can't deny that. She was like, hey, you just said that case was closed. We just there's a body right here. How is that possible? And who better to help you unpack this mess than someone who was there at the time? Unless you have an ulterior motive. Judge Gavel seems to know the facts of the IS-7 incident in some detail. In which case, I suspect you must be here on the committee's behalf. Your connection to the case is noted, Mr. Fender, but I fail to see how it concerns Mr. Edgeworth. He is the son of the original defense attorney, and a protege of the case's lead prosecutor. And if that's not enough for you, he was at the trial, too. I think it's just possible he might have a little something to bring to the table, don't you? Suck it, Gavel. Suck it. Your Lamix? I seriously want to know what this woman's problem is. I'm so curious what the committee's up to behind the scenes. What is the committee's deal? Very well. You may both assist in the investigation. But only if you refrain from interfering with the work of others. The winter ring is off limits for now. This room, however, is all yours. Alrighty. Glad to hear we're on the same wavelengths, G. Why don't we bring it in to show what we're all on the same side of justice? Absolutely not. Do not test me, Mr. Fender. Your permission to investigate can be revoked at any time. Duly noted, Your Honor. This is a turn up for the books, huh, Milesy? We get to do our thing after all. Thanks to your immeasurable help, as always. No sweat. Besides, I was mostly doing it for me.